friends, to another exciting edition of Tiny Pulpit Talks. This is a special edition. For the first time in Tiny Pulpit Talks history, we have an outside guest who is not part of the church. We're not playing any inside what's going on behind the scenes. We're learning more about one of our most important, valuable partners we have at the church. We're learning about WISE today. And we have with us the wonderful Sherri Cook, the Executive Director of WISE. Welcome, Sherri.
Thanks, TJ. I'm very glad to be here. I'm excited to tell you all about WISE, which the full name is Holy Informed Sex Ed.
Holy Informed Sex Ed.
Yes.
Holy Moses.
Holy, but with WH. Yes.
So tell us about what you do at WISE.
We take the OWL curriculum out into the community.
And what is OWL for people that don't know?
OWL is Our Whole Lives.
Okay.
That is the sex ed curriculum this church has used since the 90s when it was called About Your Sexuality. So it's been around a very long time.
Great. So how did this come to be? What happened? I don't know, is like something we did in church and like now it's in schools. What schools is it in and how did it happen?
So in about 2016, I chaired the board here at church for a couple of years. My family's gone to this church for 20-something years.
Yeah.
So we are very involved, and our daughter went through the OWL program in 8th grade.
Yeah.
And she was traumatized, as were all her friends, but it was fine. And
the good kind.
The good kind.
Yeah.
Yeah, they shared that.
Yeah.
And then we were talking about a capital campaign. And when we started our last capital campaign, we said we want to have a pillar that really addresses being out in the community. How do we live our values in the community? And we talked and we had meetings and we had committees and we talked for a very long time and realized that OWL and our history of reproductive rights was the greatest thing we had to share. So we said, let's develop something that would take OWL out to people outside the church. And that's what this is.
That's great. And for those who are either new to our community or don't know, a capital campaign is when the church commits to raise a certain amount of money over a shortened period of time. And every single campaign has pillars that uphold it, that we build this time of resource gathering around. So when we say this is a pillar of a capital campaign, this is a serious commitment to something we want to see done in the world. Would you say that's right?
Absolutely.
Great.
Yes.
So how's it going? How's it been going?
It's been going great.
Yeah?
Absolutely
Tell me.
great. Yeah. So we launched in 2020, which perhaps was not the greatest year to launch.
Perfect.
anything,
We're
right?
going to launch something in a classroom in 2020.
Yes, with no students.
No problem.
Yeah, no problem. So we thought, let's spend some time on branding and getting the back office set up. So that's what we did. 2021, we served our first students. We were at the Pan-African Connection bookstore and we had some summer campers, and we started working with partners that we had developed previously because I actually served on a number of nonprofit boards in Dallas. So I sort of had some connections and that helped us get launched. And we just started reaching out saying, we have this great program, would you like it? And what we have found ourselves doing is partnering with people who already have a youth-facing organization.
Okay.
And they need programming. So we come in as programming. We're multi-session. We're not just a drop-in. We come in and we actually provide a segment of the curriculum, as much of it as they have time for.
So you're based in the church.
Yes.
You're in the office. And there are times when I go to the printer to get things that I've printed and I see lyrics from a Megan Thee Stallion song or from a Nicki Minaj video. And I immediately know, oh my God, thank God WISE is in the world. They are really helping people.
That's what everyone says when they see that.
I mean, tell us about this. I mean, you can't miss the innovation. It is so exciting. Can you just tell us some about, I mean, your staff is amazing too. We could go on and on, but tell us about how you are reaching people right now in this moment, children right now who have these questions.
Absolutely, yes, and we do have an incredible staff.
Yeah.
This team has been together for 2 years now. And
They're
it's
the
great.
best.
Yeah, so we are always in the office putting together things, and song lyrics are part of the curriculum, of course, when we study the language of sexuality. But we're really innovating around some updates that have been overdue for a long time for sex ed curricula. And we follow the national sex ed standards.
Great.
And the most recent update really has to do with racial equity.
Get it.
We really launched ourselves with racial equity in mind. Again, that was 2020. And that has become part of the curriculum. It's one of the ways that we are slightly different from Original OWL, because we are allowed to say we're based in OWL. We can't say that we are OWL, because we are allowed to make changes.
Right.
So we've updated with this more inclusive language. We are constantly addressing updates in gender identity language, and we want to always be right where the kids are. As you say, we do answer their questions in the anonymous question box.
The question box is the best.
Yeah.
We all need a question box in our life.
It is the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so we learn a lot through that.
So tell
box.
people what the question box is.
So at the end of every class, students are invited to put an anonymous question in the box. Now, this is from OWL, but it's certainly one of our more popular components of our classes. And they ask us questions about sexuality, and they're varied. They are full of really interesting language.
Because they can ask anything.
They can ask anything. So they're very honest.
Yeah.
And the greatest thing is we can give them an honest answer.
Yeah.
And that is what people are always asking us is, how do you teach kids in like elite private schools, but also in like community centers and disadvantaged communities? How do you do all these things with all these kids? And we're like, all we do is show up and tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
That's what we do.
Yeah. Now, I was really excited. I heard recently you're starting to look into understanding better online engagement and getting a kind of literacy around social media. But tell me more about literacy. Like what are, I feel like that's something I see a lot in the WISE material. It's important to you, right? Different kinds of literacy?
Right. So many kinds. And to start with media literacy, and for people who don't know, I taught high school English for about 13 years.
Okay.
And I actually developed a media literacy class, and I taught it long before people were even carrying cell phones. So it's very important that kids understand the messages they see are constructed.
So wait, it was before cell phones, so like you'd see a stone tablet and you'd be like, what were they tapping into this tablet?
Right, because before cell phones, we had nothing.
Exactly.
Yes, we were all just wandering in the desert. But yeah, we started talking about it many years ago. I actually took a number of classes on it. And so we have incorporated this belief that kids need to know that all those messages they see on their cell phones have an agenda, that they are created by someone for the purpose of profit or power. It is all about manipulating you. Persuasive technologies are absolutely invading your brain, and it is no joke. It's very intentional. And kids who grew up with it, who have not known a world without it, really need someone to tell them that you can step away from that.
Yeah.
The body image you see on that screen is not real. So we do a lot around that. But other literacies, right? There's body literacy. You need to know the names of the parts of your body.
Yeah.
And really, no one is teaching that.
No one is teaching that.
No,
it's
crazy.
baffling.
Yeah.
I wow my friends. I'm 46. Sorry, but I wow my friends with the training I've had in sex ed at Unitarian Universalist churches.
Right. We're some of the only people who get it, apparently. But yeah, so we call it a multi-literacy approach.
Yeah.
And it's inclusive, it's affirming, it's all about sexual health and thriving. We say we want students to grow up to be sexually healthy adults.
Yeah.
Oftentimes people forget that children grow up and they need this information as adults.
Yeah.
So we're not all about just don't do things. We're like, here's how to do things safely and carefully. Here's how to know your body. Here's how to have emotional literacy. We build empathy. We think all these things are addressing something these phones have brought about, which is a crisis of connection.
Crisis of connection.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So tell me about how, beginning to end, like I could imagine me going through this as one of your students and coming out the other end and sharing with you what I experienced, how I've changed, what I'm feeling. Can you talk about some of those stories, things you've heard from students? Or are they all just like, thank you, bye, and then you pray that they got the message?
Oh, no, we get wonderful feedback.
Oh,
from
really?
students.
Tell me about that.
Yes, they'll say, we have a question on our feedback form. What do you want parents and adults to know about this? And one of the things they say is, everyone needs this. This is so important.
Yeah.
They recognize right away how important it is because it actually affects their life right now.
This is essential work. And I know there are so many more things we could say, but I just want to say how grateful I am, how grateful the church is, how just how grateful I am for all the work you're doing for the youngest people coming up who we need. We need to be healthy. We need to be well. So thank you for everything you're doing.
Thank you, TJ.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. I love having the support of this church.
Good.
Thanks.
Us too. Well, you did it, friends. You came to our first wonderful experience of welcoming one of our partners here to Tiny Pulpit Talks. We hope you will learn more about WISE. And if you have questions about that, you can get some of the links that are right down below us. Just click on those, find out more. Welcome Sherri into your homes and into your schools. Their staff is amazing. They're really they're really doing extraordinary work. We're so excited about their future. So tune in again soon. Thanks again for being with us. We are always happy to hear from you, always happy to get likes, always happy to get questions. We're coming into a phase where we want to learn more about what you want to learn. So send us your questions, send us your comments, and we'll be back with you again next week. Thanks a lot. Say bye to the people.
Thank you. Bye, people.
Bye.